The evaluation of a point guard is often corrupted by an over-reliance on scoring metrics. We live in an era where the jump shot is worshipped above all else, creating a false narrative that a playmaker's value is directly tied to their field goal percentage. But the true legends of the position, the players who dictate the geometric flow of the game, understand that scoring is merely one tool in an extensive arsenal of offensive manipulation. When the Indiana Fever completely dismantled their opponent in a 113-91 blowout, the mainstream media immediately highlighted the shooting statistics. They pointed out that Caitlin Clark struggled from behind the arc. They completely missed the absolute basketball genius that was unfolding on the hardwood. Welcome back to WNBA Time. Today we are undertaking a forensic examination of a playmaking masterpiece. We are breaking down Caitlin Clark's monster 21-point, 14-assist performance and exposing how she officially stripped the offensive control away from Stephanie White to implement the undeniable Clark style of basketball. To truly understand the magnitude of what occurred in this game, we must first address the shooting splits. Caitlin Clark shot 5 for 15 from the floor. She was 1 of 8 from the three-point line. If you are a casual observer or a coach who refuses to look past the box score, you might assume she was effectively neutralized. But basketball is not played on a spreadsheet. When the perimeter shot refuses to fall, a traditional scorer becomes a liability. When the perimeter shot refuses to fall for Caitlin Clark, she simply pivots and transforms into the most terrifying distributor on the planet. Listen to the absolute awe from the independent media as they process her ability to dominate a game without relying on her jump shot.
Unlikable. Did you like that? 14 assists. The girl was throwing dimes left and right like Magic Johnson. We got to get into this 21-point, 14 assists double-double, and the blonde bomber Sophie Cunningham is still on fire from Connecticut. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. All the Caitlin Clark haters is about to be out.
Throwing dimes like Magic Johnson. That is not hyperbole. That is an accurate historical comparison of her spatial awareness. She recorded a season-high 14 assists. She was treating the basketball court like a chessboard, moving the opposing defense with her eyes, and delivering the ball with a precision that defies human reaction time. And the primary reason she was able to distribute with such devastating effectiveness is because the Indiana Fever finally, definitively stopped running Stephanie White's stagnant isolation offense and started playing Caitlin Clark's brand of basketball. For months, we have documented the absolute sheer toxicity of the Indiana Fever's offensive design. We watched head coach Stephanie White repeatedly take the ball out of Clark's hands, forcing her to stand in the corner as a decoy, while veteran players dribbled the shot clock into oblivion. But in this game, the philosophy fundamentally shifted. The ball remained in the hands of the generational point guard, and the results were an absolute revelation for the rest of the roster. Let us examine the performance of Kelsey Mitchell. Mitchell has been a frequent target of our critical analysis, and rightfully so. Her tendency to operate with severe tunnel vision has actively destroyed late-game possessions throughout the season. However, when Mitchell operates within the Clark style of offense, an offense predicated on constant motion, spacing, and rapid distribution, she transforms into an incredibly efficient weapon. Look at how her offensive profile shifted in this specific game.
She did have 2 assists, 1 rebound. What I like the most about Kelsey Mitchell's performance here was Kelsey Mitchell scored on very, very limited dribbles. On this 27 points, there was only like maybe 1 basket, maybe 2 baskets at the most where she dribbled the ball more than 3 to 4 times. All of these baskets were backdoor layup. Catching it on the curl, 1 dribble, layup, 2 dribble, layup, catch and shoot, jab step, 3. She wasn't
scoring on limited dribbles. That is the ultimate metric of a functioning basketball offense. When a volume scorer stops pounding the leather into the hardwood and starts moving without the ball, the entire defensive structure of the opponent collapses. Mitchell scored a game-high 27 points on 9 of 11 shooting from the floor. She shot an absurd 81% because she was no longer forced to manufacture her own offense. She simply ran her routes, cut to the basket, and trusted that her point guard would deliver the ball precisely on time. This is what happens when Stephanie White gets out of the way and allows the natural hierarchy of the roster to dictate the play. And if Mitchell's efficiency was a revelation, the sustained dominance of Sophie Cunningham off the bench was an absolute masterclass in perimeter shooting. We have discussed the tension surrounding Cunningham's role and her undeniable value as a floor spacer. In this game, she was nothing short of a flamethrower.
From Connecticut, guys. Sophie Cunningham got on a heater in Connecticut, went on an 11-0 run to close out the Connecticut Sun, and she stayed on that heater today. Off the bench in 24 minutes, Sophie Cunningham was 8 of 11 from the floor, 6 of 7 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. She had 6 rebounds and poured in 24 points off the bench. Sophie was on fire. She didn't miss her first shot until like damn near fourth quarter.
6 of 7 from beyond the arc, 24 points in 24 minutes of action. Cunningham is the ultimate beneficiary of Caitlin Clark's gravitational pull. When Clark attacks the paint, the defense is forced to make an impossible mathematical decision: surrender the layup, or collapse and leave the perimeter shooters entirely unguarded. The opponent chose to collapse, and Cunningham mathematically punished them for it. This level of bench production is precisely what separates a mediocre team from a legitimate championship contender. However, we cannot allow the euphoria of a massive offensive explosion to blind us to the glaring systemic flaws that still plague this roster. While the perimeter players were flourishing in this new up-tempo system, the interior finishing of the Indiana Fever remains a significant concern. Aaliyah Boston recorded a strong statistical line with 18 points and 11 rebounds, securing another double-double. But the tape reveals a deeply frustrating reality regarding the sheer volume of missed opportunities around the rim.
In my opinion, I love what Kelsey Mitchell brought out there today. And to round out the big three, Aaliyah Boston, 18 points, 11 rebounds, a strong game. Still missing some bunnies. You still missing some bunnies around the rim. I don't know what is going on. Let's be real. I don't want to see no more half-court contests. I don't want to see no more puppies. I don't want to see anything. No more half-court contests. We need to have a layup contest. Who can survive the layup gauntlet? The last person standing, that is who should be getting shouted out on social media, not who made the damn half-court shot, because this Indiana Fever team misses entirely too many layups. Caitlin Clark
missing bunnies around the rim. At the professional level, you cannot afford to squander high-percentage looks, especially when your point guard is perfectly dissecting the defense to create them. If the Indiana Fever frontcourt simply converted the uncontested layups that Clark engineered, she would have easily eclipsed the 20-assist threshold. The fact that the Fever scored 113 points while missing multiple point-blank opportunities is a terrifying indicator of their actual offensive ceiling. But perhaps the most disturbing aspect of this game did not occur on the offensive end of the floor. It occurred within the whistle of the officiating crew. We have continually documented the egregious, unpunished physical abuse that Caitlin Clark endures on a nightly basis. The league has seemingly established a separate set of physical rules for the rookie. But the officiating incompetence reached a dangerous new low in this matchup, extending beyond Clark to affect the physical safety of the entire roster.
That's just the reality of the situation with this Indiana Fever roster. Now, Maisha Hines-Allen went out. She got hit in the face. Blood was everywhere. I thought the refs was absolute garbage. They was dog crap in this game. Maisha Hines-Allen gets hit in the face. Blood everywhere. No whistle. Caitlin Clark getting hit. First 3 drives of the game. No fouls, no whistles. The refs, I thought y'all was supposed to be better. I thought y'all was supposed to call more fouls, bro. This is kind of crazy.
Blood on the floor and no whistle. This is not aggressive defense. It is a profound failure of the officials to protect the athletes. When a player takes a blow to the face that draws blood and the referee refuses to stop the play, the integrity of the game is fundamentally compromised. And when Caitlin Clark is repeatedly hammered on her drives to the rim without earning a trip to the free throw line, it validates every single criticism leveled against the league's officiating standards. Despite the physical abuse, despite the missed layups from her teammates, and despite the fact that her three-point shot was entirely off target, Caitlin Clark still managed to completely control the outcome of the basketball game. She recorded 14 assists, secured 5 rebounds, generated critical transition steals, and forced the opposing defense into a state of absolute panic. The Indiana Fever are currently riding a 4-game winning streak. They are scoring over 100 points with terrifying regularity. And the reason for this sudden, explosive resurgence is undeniably clear. They have stopped fighting the geometry of the court. They have abandoned the stagnant, overcoached sets designed by Stephanie White, and they have fully embraced the chaotic, fast-paced, highly intelligent system orchestrated by their generational point guard. This is WNBA Pro. We do not evaluate a player based on a single shooting metric. We evaluate them based on their total architectural control of the game. If you demand fearless, uncompromising analysis of the mechanics and psychology of professional basketball, ensure you hit the subscribe button right now. Turn on your notifications so you never miss a deep dive into the film.